Happy mid-morning, guys. So, how many of you stayed in the Holiday Inn Express last night? Yeah. Point. Okay. Yeah, this video may be a little tough love for everybody, but I want to make the point. Some of you guys follow Patera, Appalachia's Homestead with Patera. You know, I follow Patera very much. Some of you may follow MD Creekmore, okay, another channel that I follow. Good information put out on their channels. I like to think there's good information put out on mine too. Both of them have recently talked about something that I thought was worth reiterating here for those who may have not watched them. Get off your butt, get off the couch, and start doing some of the stuff, okay? Just because you watch YouTube videos, just because well, gee, I saw a video on how to make tomato cages, for example, doesn't mean you know how to do it. There's only so many hours in a day. This time of year, y'all can agree with me. I mean, hell, yesterday, canned 28 quarts of potatoes all day, 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Took me all day to do that. One task all day long, but I do it. Okay. This is the thing, and this is kind of what both of them were talking about, and I'll agree with. A lot of YouTube channels are for entertainment purposes. Maybe you enjoy watching me. Maybe you enjoy listening to my voice. Some of you have said I have a calming voice. Don't know why you'd want to look at this face, but maybe you do. Okay. Sure, a little bit of what I produce on this channel is entertainment-wise. You know, some of the snarkiness or my sarcasm might get a chuckle out of you. But I try to put out useful information, actionable information that you can work with to improve your preparation. Because the world may blow up. Joe may take us into World War III. We don't know. An EMP may happen. We don't know. The threat of Armageddon has been over humanity since Adam and Eve, okay? That one day the world is going to end. It hasn't yet. There are many people who have lived a life and died before us that never experienced Armageddon. We just may be the next group of people in that line. No question, okay? The end of the world may not happen in our lifetime. It may, okay? But chances are it doesn't. Okay? If I had a bet, I wouldn't be putting money on the world blows up before I die. However, one thing I will guarantee happens, 100%, I'd put money on this any day of the week, that we are all going to experience our own personal SHTF. Okay? Could be a job loss. Look at Yellow Trucking. Anybody that worked for Yellow Trucking, company's been in business for over 100 years, right? Boom, 30,000 people out of a job. Take a look at CVS. CVS just announced they're going to lay off a whole boatload of people. Those people found out this week they're experiencing their own personal SHTF. How are they going to pay the bills? How are they going to pay the rent on September 1st? How are they going to pay the electric bill that's due sometime this month, or the phone bill, or the cable bill, or buy groceries, or whatever? Hopefully, they have something put back in case of a rainy day. How many times have we talked about that? The reason I say this, and I think it's the same reason that MD Creekmore and Patera both said the same thing, is I see the exact same thing that they do on the videos that I create, on how many people watch them. Okay? Now, I can't speak for how many people actually take action, but I'll do a video on Donald Trump getting indicted or something like that, and it'll get 20, 30,000 views. I'll do a video on how to make tomato cages cheap, and it gets 6,000 views. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because Donald Trump getting indicted, well, yeah, it's interesting and can get your blood boil and everything, is not an actionable item that is going to make your life better. Whether or not Trump goes to prison, which I seriously doubt, okay, is not going to make a whole hill of beans difference in whether or not there's dinner on the table for you tomorrow night, whether or not the electricity stays on because the electric company didn't shut you off, whether or not you get a foreclosure notice on your house or an eviction notice in your apartment. Okay. The actionable items we talk about, it surprises me, and obviously other channels too, that those are the videos, what I think we content creators kind of agree, these are the ones that we think are very important, and nobody cares. But the ones that are, gas prices are going up, food prices are going up, whatever would be, the ones that you have no control over, those are the ones that people pay attention to. Now, I'm not saying everybody by a long shot, okay? I'm very thoroughly convinced that there's a lot of people that watch this channel that actively are doing things, actively growing their own food, actively coming up with their own water sources, their heat sources, their electrical sources, buying extra clothing, socks, underwear, fabric, whatever it to be, doing those things. But I'm also absolutely convinced that there's a lot of people that watch this channel for entertainment purposes only. Why can I say that? There's 102,000 subscribers on this channel. When I post a video on an actionable item and it gets 8,000 views, that tells me, that gives me an actual figure, that roughly 8% of the population, my unscientific way of figuring this out, that 8% of the population is actually doing something to protect their future. And the other 92% are saying, you know what? Nah, it's not important to me. I don't grow tomatoes, or I don't need extra water, or I don't need more socks, or something, pick something. It's as simple as that. You are going to have a personal crisis. Somebody's going to die in the family. The breadwinner, your spouse dies. It's happened. We've talked about other YouTubers who have died, whose spouses have died, and all of a sudden the world is upside down for the rest of the family. What do? It could happen to you. It could happen to any of us. Any of us could get in the car today, go to the grocery store, and something could happen. And your spouse is at home and all of a sudden gets a phone call from the police saying, would you please come down to the morgue? Okay. This can happen. Any of us could go to the doctor and say, you've been diagnosed with cancer and you have 6 months to live. Okay. What is the rest of your family going to do? Prepping's more about just taking care of you. It's also about taking care of your loved ones. And when there's actionable things that you can do, and I'm not saying thousands of dollars or anything like that, actionable items, getting pallets and making planters out of pallets or something like that. Anybody can do. I don't care if you're 80 years old, okay? You can disassemble a pallet. It may take you longer than somebody who's 30, okay? But you can disassemble a pallet, reassemble it, and make a box out of it, okay? You can learn skills. You can learn how to grow potatoes, tomatoes, green beans. You can learn how to can. You can learn how to shoot a weapon or do something. What's your security like around your house? Do you have lights? Do you have cameras? Okay. Have you done anything about it? The thought process of, oh, when the world blows up, I'll do it then because I've gathered all this knowledge, I've saved all these videos, ain't gonna work, okay? If it takes me almost 9 hours to process 28 quarts of potatoes, that's 9 hours that I don't have time to do something else. Did I go out and practice shooting firearms yesterday? No. Did I go out and build something yesterday? No. I spent that entire day canning food, which means nothing else got done. So, in an SHTF situation, all of a sudden an EMP hits today. You can't go, well, you know what? I'll go plant a bunch of vegetables, harvest a bunch of vegetables, can a bunch of vegetables, figure out how I'm going to get meat, set up my security, learn how to shoot a firearm, get more clothes, learn how to sew for something like that. And I'm going to do all that the day the EMP hits and I'll be fine. Or the day I get the phone call from the coroner and I'll be fine. I've said many times, prepping is not a destination, it's a journey. Take some of these actionable items, take some of these videos that Magic puts out, Angry Prepper puts out, Travis puts out, Patera puts out, MD Creekmore puts out, Bear puts out, Pastor Joe Fox puts out. Take some of these videos after you watch them and go do the things, to quote Bear, okay? Go do it. Go learn how to do it. Even if it's outside your comfort zone, even if it's something you've never done before, learn how. You guys know I'm in the middle of a project right now, okay? And the project is real simple. We are trying to figure out how to put together a ram pump to get water from the stream that is 800 feet away from my pond to my pond. We built the thing so far. I'll show you all this when we eventually get it done. We built the thing and we proved the concept that it works, that we can at least pump water up 35 feet, climbed a tree to do it, okay? I'm not an engineer, I'm not a plumber, but I saw videos on YouTube and said, hey, this is a solution I can use that may solve a problem. So I start following all this. I'm out walking through poison ivy like crazy with my buddy the other day, with Brett, through poison ivy, trying to figure out how we can get what I needed was 9 feet of drop. I'm not going to try to explain all the deal. We had to go through 360 feet to get that, so we can get enough pressure to pump water up about 70 feet high. Okay? I've never done anything like this in the world, in my life. But it's been done. We put it together. We followed directions. We got it working. And now we're going to do it on a bigger scale. And we'll see if we can make it work. Because in an SHTF situation, I'm not going to be able to go to Home Depot and buy a bunch of valves and pipe fittings and PVC and all this to do it. So at that point, even though I know how this works, I can't do it because I can't get the material. Okay? You don't have time then to spend days upon days working out, testing, figuring out how things go together, etc., etc. We have the time now to learn. Take the information that you get from all the content creators out there who put a lot of time in to try to help. YouTube is a lot of time entertainment, but use the actionable items, learn from them, and put them into practice. Because, like I said at the top, this is not for informational, or this is not for entertainment purposes. This is for educational purposes. And the only way you learn something is by doing it yourself. Pinball out.